Welcome back to Boggy Creek Life. I am your host, Cam Boggs. As always, to the returning subscribers, thank you. And if you're new to the channel, well, it's your lucky day because we're going to take a trip to a place that I went that kind of made me feel like hobby shop and Christmas morning all wrapped in together at one. And, you know, as an adult, you don't get to feel that much anymore. You know, their hobby shops just ain't around like they used to be. And so, you know, that made this place like really, really awesome. And there was models everywhere, you know, and I saw some that I built as a kid, and I saw a whole bunch that I never even knew existed, producers I never knew, companies, you know, I never knew existed that made them. And, you know, just seeing what I built and, you know, what I'd like to build, it just kind of like brought the past and the future all together at once in like this crazy, good, exciting feeling, you know. And you know, another thing that's cool about it is it's eventually going to be an online hobby store. But as of right now, it is my IPMS Clubhouse, the Miami Run Runners. And it's my buddy Max's stash that he's acquired over his whole life, you know, as I understand it. And he just offered to me, he said, hey, man, just come here and find something that you think is really cool and you can use it to make a video, you know. And once you see the amount of stuff there, you'll know why. I asked Max, I was like, hey, man, there's a lot of cool stuff there. I was like, what do you think is what your favorite piece, you know, or your one of your prized pieces? And I still could have did anything I wanted, you know, because Max is cool like that. But I decided to go with what Max picked because I really liked what Max picked. And man, it is a doozy. So let's go check this out. Okay, so this is the place I was telling you about. This is my local IPMS Clubhouse chapter, the Rum Runners, Hialeah, Florida. This is our take a paint, leave a paint rack. These are all kits in here. This is some planes. And there's one car. I did that car. There's some more 1/72nd scale. Here's some of our figures. I did those three there. Got gold at nationals, second place local. He never went in anything. So the reason that I joined the IPMS is because I know nothing about planes, but when I was a kid, planes and cars, the library, part of it, more kits, is that I wanted to learn how to do them on the next level. And what better place to learn than with gentlemen that already know how to do it. Now, all this place is in progress of being put together, so things are a little disorderly off to the side, but that's okay. Some other award winners. And it's the level of detail when you get into these. That's what does it for me. Because you guys have seen how I work with the figure models, and I'm not an aviation history expert or anything like that. I just know what looks cool to me and what I like. And that's the approach I take to it. Here's some of my more favorite kind. I like the World War I biplanes. These are way too tiny for my liking. Go over here. This is a larger scale, 1/32. This is more where I'll be building in eventually. Something bigger that I can see and actually work with and doing a great amount of detail on. These are beautifully done by club members. That thing is huge. 1/32 is a pretty good size. Armor. More library. More kits. It's our catch-all table. This is where the great minds collaborate once a month at least. Now, over here is up to where the magic happens. I always joke, this is like going to heaven. And you'll see why here in a second. All these are kits with no boxes and bags. All these. And this is all one gentleman's stash, our member Max. So over here, he has ships and cars. And what initially blew me away about this is just the size of the stash. I mean, I thought I had a stash of figures at home and some little various models. But this this takes the cake. Yeah, you can see. And this is just one room. There's another room. And just the just the magic of seeing all this right in front of you just brings back that childhood passion. But yet you have it with now this knowledge that I have from doing figure kits more realism, that I can gear it towards these kind of kits now and broaden the horizons, which is what I want to do. I want to do all kinds of models, you know. And by the way, all this is eventually going to end up in an online hobby store when my buddy Max there retires. So if you pause the video and see anything you like, hey, just let me know and I'll see what he says. But like this, it's 148, but man, that's cool. That's a beautiful box, beautiful plane, these jets. But this is the kind of stuff I get into. Yeah. There's even there's a C-130 down there that's so big it has to go on the floor. Aircraft carrier, the Nimitz. Huge. Go back over here in this closet. And this is where he keeps some of his old-timey gold. Some older kits. That's an old plastic in here. I think. Just planes. Ooh, that looks cool. Aurora. Lincoln. Never heard of this, but it looks ancient. Some nice hippie flying machine. That is cool. You know, I think I remember building this as a kid. Or no, it was this one right here. The Black Widow. That was cool. That was fun. And that's what this is all about. Look at that. B-52 Flying Fortress. Good googly goo.
all kits. Here you go. Lots of your old Auroras. I mean, I just feel history in here, like modeling history, not just, plain. I didn't even know until I came here that Matchbox made models. And that is cool. 1/72 scale, definitely small. A satellite. That is wild. This place makes my heart race every time I come up here. Let's go over here. Let's see if we hit the cars from a different angle. So there's some cool cars in here. Got some motorcycles. Unfortunately, I like larger scale cars myself. And these are mostly 124. These cars here belong to a club member. I have almost that exact Ford GT40 kit. He's got that Mach 1. That is awesome. I've got one of them 112s, and he's also got Richard Petty there. Grand Prix. That is cool. Larger scale. Let's go over to the room over here. We've got some more. There's just so much stuff in here. And one of our members, they say he's got a bigger stash at his house even. I can't even imagine. Some armor. And once again, I don't know history or mechanics, or anything about it. I just go off of what I like to look at. Like this. That is cool. There's some jets I like. I like a lot of prop stuff. Phantom. I like the side intakes on them jets. When I come here, I just get all Smithsonian collection. The box art is just beautiful on some of these. And honestly, I knew there was a lot of planes, but GCP, I had no idea. More Academy, like the light motion sensor lights. That's a beautiful jet. Got some cool helicopters in the corner. You guys already know I like helicopters. I got some armor too. I don't know if I made a video on it. I'll have to check it back. We'll see if I haven't made any videos on it. I'll break them out. Don't worry, the figure models are never going anywhere. For my older subscribers, they'll always be here. Yeah. Accurate Miniatures. Never heard of that company. That just looks tough. That looks cool. Looks like it'd be all grimy. Dragonfly, that's cool looking. Now, unfortunately for myself, some of the cool looking ones only come in tiny scale. So I do have a Revel Red Baron plane. It's bigger. Got some armor up here. Look. If you're a open-minded model builder and just get into anything, look at all the tracks, the details. So I asked my buddy Max earlier, I said, what's one of your favorite, probably your most prized possession kits, And so this is what he showed me. It's down here. Not this one, even though that is cool. Huge 1/32 scale. B-25 Mitchell gunship. I mean, that would be a blast. And look at the nose art on it. That's cool. But this is what he told me. The Avro Lancaster B Mark 1, 1/32 scale. And so guess what? Max said I could take this to the house and we can take a look at it and see why it's one of the top dogs here in his stash. So we're going to grab that and get it out of here, and I will see you back at the house.
Okay, so we got it home. Had to adjust some camera angles and stuff because this thing is big. So let's get it up on the bench. Ooh-wee. That's a big one. It is a big one. All right. First, as always, I like to do, let's check out the box art. Now, I think this is a beautiful box art for what it is because it shows the plane in action. You know, it looks like it's running a night raid, bombing. There's spotlights going off. It's explosions around. It's war. It's very, very intense, action-packed box art. And you know, this is more like, I mean, it wasn't from a movie. This was like real life happenings, you know. All right, let's get this thing right there. Parts number 824, wingspan 972 millimeters. I converted it and I can't remember what it is. Length 644 millimeters. HK models. I'm not really gonna. Well, I guess I can turn it a little bit. Flip it on the side if you want to give them a look. They got a Facebook page, HK Models. They're based out of China, made in China, it says. Yep. Hong Kong. All right, 1/32 scale. Avro Lancaster series. Pop it open. Oh my goodness. Look at all that. What I'm going to do here real quick, fellas, I'm going to lay all this out and then we'll take a look at some of it. We're not going to get all of this. Don't worry. Now, don't worry. We're not looking at it like this. I just wanted to take a minute to show that this is what on my bench, which is 4 feet long and like 3 feet wide or something, one of them little fold out tables. This is what a 830 some part 32nd scale bomber aircraft looks like laid out. You can't even lay it out. I mean, it's got one went to the floor. 3, 4, 5 huge sprues of parts. I mean, the body over here. I mean, you're definitely going to be building this a while. So I'm just going to pick out some important looking things. Because like I said, I don't even know what all this is. But I built it? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I built it and research it while I do it. But let's check this out. Let me put some of this stuff away. All right. So first off, let's, like I'd like to do, go through anything that came with it. Gave you this book, The Lancaster in Action, the Squadron Signal Publications, which is, you know, squadron models. If you do other models outside of figure models, you've probably heard the name. It's like a hobby store. I don't know if they make paint or not, but you know, they make a lot of stuff. Sell a lot of stuff. The Lancaster in Action gives you some photos of the actual plane in action. Gives you different prototypes. Let's switch to the bench zoom camera. All right. Different prototypes. And of course, history on the plane. Gives you different developmental, the different models basically of what they use the base plane for. Goes into the plane's history. Some pictures from history, crews working on it, maintaining it, different turrets it had, just all the different. Ooh, tell me his job wouldn't be scary. Different turrets, tail development. See the turrets there. Bombs. Basically just his damage taken. Right there, right there. And basically well, I don't know if this would be considered a brief history. This might be kind of in-depth history of just the one plane. Got different marking options. And there are lots of aftermarket kit companies out there, decals. So you could probably make it to like any one of these that you wished for whatever, time period, a part of the war. They got like, I understand they got like early war, late war, mid war, because modifications were made to a lot of different vehicles and weapons and such as the war went on. It's got some pictures of the guys doing their jobs in there. Just all in all, a little history of the book, or the plane, I mean. So that's really cool. I like when companies do stuff like that. Now, we've got the instruction book, which is rather beefy. We'll just take a glance at it here. Big one. Big book. And you know what? I think the bench camera is fine for this because we're not really going to go into this much because it is a lot. And, I was glancing over the pieces when I was taking them out, the parts we didn't really need to look at. But basically, I came to the conclusion if it's not like individual spark plugs on the engines and wiring, anything else is in here. I saw like framing. If it's on this plane, it's probably in this kit. And that is just way cool to me. Now, 830 some pieces a year. If you do this 2 hours a day for a year, and you're trying to do a pretty decent job of it, I have a feeling you're not going to get it done. If you do, kudos to you, my friend. There's all the bombs in the bomb hatch, all the little latches that hold them on. Here's all the framing I was talking about. It looks like motor mounts and stuff. You remember there's four and for the landing gear struts. Now you remember there's 4 engines on this because there's 4 props. And just basically, but they seem to be pretty in-depth directions and well written. As long as you follow your and the whiteout is terrible. As long as you follow your notes down here, your margin, your legend, and switch the camera there. As long as you follow your legend that tells you, hey, this is this on the inside here, swip around, whatever, I think you'll be good to go. And this is really cool too, because there's so many hands in the pot on making this kit that has all your colors mapped out here of what the actual key is, what color it was in real life. And then it has the AK Interactive. Well, this is the nomenclature for the color in that line of paint. The Tamiya, this is a nomenclature, and Mr. Hobby, which a lot of people use. So this is a nomenclature and that, which is really cool for people, that don't all use the same kind of paint, obviously. So I think that is very well written. Instruction booklet, nice, girthy. Now here's one of my favorite parts is the aftermarket stuff. Now this, I don't think this is aftermarket. I think this came with it, as it says HK models, I have a Lancaster. And a lot of companies do give you some photo etch parts, especially with the bigger and newer kits these days. These look like some seat belts. You can see them in there, maybe. And I don't know what the other parts belong to. That looks like maybe a seat belt or something. I could be totally wrong. But if you're not familiar what photo etch parts are, and they make them for like planes, cars, all that, is they're little thin metal like this, and they etch detail in them, and you can paint them, wash them, whatever you color, you know, whatever the object is supposed to be. And for some like older kits and stuff that don't have that detail already in it, this will be the detail. You'll be adding more detail to it. Like cars, they have seat belts and stuff for like a lot of the old like AMT kits and stuff like that, and planes and such too. For newer kits, I've found, like I did the Tamiya SR McLaren 125 scale, I think it is, and I bought a little photo etch kit with it, and you know, some of it I did use. Some of it, the detail that they had on the car model already was better than the photo etched part. And well, but that's also because that's Tamiya, which I'm finding out the more I venture outside of bigger models, is some of these other companies, they put a lot of detail into their kits already. So okay, we get that out of the way. This is the cool stuff too. Now this is a aftermarket decals. They have Max's bought. There's one called Victorious Virgin. Got the pinup girls. Lonesome Lola. And she's just called I'm Easy. And I don't know if they're not fighters. So I don't know, that may represent the number of missions they've been on. I mean, it could be the number of planes they shot down. They do have guns on there, but they were not fighters at all. So they weren't made for that. Some more seat belts, it appears. I think Max had bought some doubles of stuff and he just like maybe forgot what he had. Didn't know. There's some other parts that I have no idea where they go. Radiators is what it says. Radiators. Now there's some cockpit, the instrument panel. And you know, if that's what's stopping you from like getting into planes and stuff, well, I can't paint them little gauges and stuff. They even do this for car models if you're trying to branch out a little bit. Is they have separate detailed, like these appear to be decals, and it's already got all that gauges of stuff painted. There's another one. This is the one I wanted to show you. This is actually textured, raised. I have one similar, something like this that I'm going to use on my my A10 Warthog over there. You don't have to worry about painting none of this stuff. It's raised up like the gauge and would be in the real plane. Takes all that mess, all that worry out of the build, which makes the build more satisfying, in my opinion. Some more radiator stuff, more seat belts. This right here, this is like gold. This is pre-cut masking. So on all your glass, or most of it anyway, at least your canopy pieces, if you see here, you see the part that's like dulled out. Well, in real life, that would be the part of the metal frame that holds the glass. So these are pre-cut pieces of masking tape that you put over what is going to stay glass while you paint the parts that are going to be metal. Now, it makes it a million times easier. It takes out the fear of cutting your glass with a razor blade and scratching it or whatever. But some people have said that sometimes these do not fit perfect. Now, if that would bother you, hey, that's a good start. You can add a little piece of extra tape. I think on a kit this worthy of it, I would go the extra mile for the detail. And plus two, I mean, this is, you know, for me, I'm a regular Joe like you. this is a save up kit for me. This thing's about $350 on average. I found it's in the 300s. So, but you know, it's just a little bit we went over so far. I think is every bit worth of it. I mean, if you're taking dollar per moments of satisfying to build, and you're definitely feeling like you want to branch out if you're only doing figure models or whatever, you know, I find that there's a lot of us that do figure models that also do other stuff on the side, and that's kind of where I'm going right now. Don't worry, we're always going to have figure models here on this channel, but you know, every once in a while I'd like to show a little something different, yeah, because it's me. Now this right here, we got to zoom out for this one. This is one wing. This is my hand. I mean, granted, I'm not no 6'9" man, but you know, I've got a good average size hand. So that is huge. I mean, this plane is going to be like, it probably as wide as a screen if you were to put it into proportion when it's done. Now, one thing I did notice about this on the detailing, and you notice I haven't went a lot into the detailing because this is just spot on precision. There's really, you know, I mean, I'll show you a little bit of the engine and stuff, but okay, you remember when you was a kid, if you built a plane and you had the little wing and you had two sections you had to smack together and glue to make your plane? Not on this. Not on this. This is one piece. It's already all together, and you just insert the pieces that you need to insert for whatever section that is. And this is what I'm talking about here. If we can see it, is all your panel lines. My zoom camera ain't really trying to help me out today for some reason. I don't know why. But all your panel lines and your rivets are inset. They're engraved. They're not raised. They don't stick up off of it. So what that means is, to just, you know, give a little lesson here real quick, but like when you're painting and you're wanting to weather, make it more realistic, and you want your panel lines and your rivets to stick out, they got this little panel liner stuff. So when your stuff is engraved like that, it will sit down into the recesses, and it does like a capillary action. It comes with a real thin brush, and you put it down there, and it will run until the paint runs dry, you know, and then you'll have to put another drop there. And it goes and just fills in all that for you and makes your life that much easier. So I would say that they actually designed this kit with the builder in mind. But seeing how many companies was attached to it on the box, you know, I can understand why. It's just some of your flaps, some of your underbelly parts where the engines go, I believe. It's your the tail. I don't know what you would call that. It's not the rudder. The rudder's the straight up and down one. A tail flap, I guess. See, I mean, that's when I'm not lying when I say I don't really know. I just know it's cool and I like it. We'll go over the engine pieces real quick, and just to show you, I mean, it's engine block. Just every detail of the engine is in there. And this plane has 4 engines, so you get to do that 4 times. And you know, if that's not your bag, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I mean, this would definitely be a kit for me if I was to build it, which I hope to someday. It'd definitely be a break taker where I would, you know, maybe do a little easier, more build or something smaller. I have the need to feel a completion occasionally here and there. And I have a feeling you know what I'm talking about. You probably got it too. But if I haven't completed something in a little good bit of time, it drives me crazy. So I would have to stop and maybe go break out like a, you know, an Aurora repop or something that goes together rather quickly, get her done. So yeah, this would definitely be one of those kind of kits for me. But once again, I think this would be nothing but a pleasure. It's all the bomb halves, but I mean, it's a bomber. So it's all the bomb halves, all the prop blades, because it's got 4 props. I think it's like 3 blades per prop, maybe. I don't know. I didn't really look at the box that well. Here's one of the things that I really liked about it. Okay. So we're going back to zoom out here. This is the front of our plane. This is where our wing inserts. Right here. That's where the front of it starts. This is the back of our fuselage. So we got that right there. Right there. This is the total length of this Bad Mary. I mean, we get a little more because we think we got a turret bubble or something on the end there. And a little bit of something yada yada at the end. Once again, all recessed rivets and everything, like I said, which makes it that much easier to paint. So that is the length we've got going on. And that's a nice solid key. I remember when I was a kid, you would you just had a little tab coming off the wing. You would stick it to the fuselage, and if you didn't glue it good, it would. This is a heavy duty locking mechanism. This is a bad mamma jamba right here. But here's the other thing that I like. Now, I'm going to paint this all, like it's been in war. All weathered, all the dirt, the oil, the whole 9 yards, the gas stain. Hell, maybe a couple bullet holes somewhere. But if you want to show off all your interior work and everything that you did, they give you the option. They have the whole fuselage. The whole, not just one half. No. All 4 parts in clear. In clear. The whole length of the plane. So you can put this together if you want in clear to show off all your detail that you did on the inside. Or, if I was to use this, I would maybe make like one half of the plane painted in the, the wartime colors and markings, like real. And then the other half where you could see into it. Now, I would suggest if I was going to do something like this, like maybe rig up some kind of lighting inside. Because, yeah, it's clear. I mean, because this has got some protective film over it. I mean, I guess you can see through it pretty good. You got to remember that some of your stuff is going to be further in there. So you might not be able to see it that well through that. But, yeah, that's an option. And I like that comes like stock like that, for like a museum build. You may want to build it like it just rolled off the factory floor and show it off, and that's fine and dandy. That's what this hobby is all about, is having fun and doing it your way, the way you want to. This is just our cockpit glass again. Our bubble glasses for the, I am really sorry about this washout going on here. If I could turn the camera up and show you, I have turned the lights up towards the ceiling and towards the wall, and I just cannot get rid of it for some reason. I'm going to have to work on that. But we've got all our turret glass with its framing, all our little windows that went all the way down the fuselage. Like they were looking everywhere. You had to be looking to see where fighters were coming from, because the fighters were trying to take your ass down. But let that be known. And if you have stuck around this far, well, I truly appreciate it. And like I said, the figure models will never be going anywhere. That's my first true love. But I find no problem with us wanting to expand and I know I'm not the only one. I see some of the other figure model guys out there. They'll post a car here once in a while or something like that, And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's nothing wrong with just jumping outside your comfort zone if you always wanted to do something, because, hey, guess what? You only get one life, right? At least I haven't met any vampires yet. But, and just on another note, if you're out there and you're kind of getting like, bored of sitting at home and just modeling by yourself, look around and see if you've got a local IPMS thing. A lot of people, they don't get with them, man, because they think they're just rivet counters. They think they're military dudes and stuff like that. And they don't get into that, and they let that stop it. But that's not true. I've been to IPMS shows with my group, and there's guys that do figures, there's guys that do Gundams, there's guys that do cars. You know, every group may not be like that, maybe because they don't have you in it, the guy that does the figures or the guy that does the cars. You know what? Every time I go to mine, they call me the best figure modeler in the room. Why? Because the rest of them don't do it. So anyways, if you stuck around this long, you know, and you're looking to branch out, hey, maybe talk to your local IPMS group. That's so hard for me to roll off the tongue, because I thought, you know, hey, I wanted to learn this, and where best to learn all the best tips from, but guys have been doing it already for years. You know. All right, this has already lasted too long. Let's get you kids out of here. All righty, so if you made it this far, I thank you very much for hanging around and taking that journey with me to my local IPMS club there. Bunch of great guys, great people, and you know, they really helped change my perspective on modeling, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking to fan out, and you know, like I said earlier, it's not going to be a hobby store until later on, way down the line. But my buddy Max did say, hey, if you saw something when I was walking through there and you're interested, drop me a line and I'll talk to him, see what's going on with it, you know. That is a big, beautiful plane right there. Big, beautiful plane. And thanks for hanging out and going over it with me. I'm a little flustered. The middle segment, the review part, I went through that whole thing and then realized I didn't record it. So I had to do that twice. And that's just, that's some flaws in the game sometimes. Getting ready to get Mr. Pumpkinhead diorama done. I'm tired of looking at it. Got a few little props left to go. And then I'm going to start grounding the base out. And then he will be done. He needs to be done. I won't be seeing you guys at Wonderfest this year. Next year, definitely for sure. Trying to think of anything else. As always, you know, I'm human. I don't sit here all scripted. No. The regular subscribers, thank you. And if you're new and stayed this far, hey, bravo, hit that like and subscribe button, man. You're golden. We just crossed 700 subscribers, and I want to thank you all so much. I've worked so hard on this, and it's just nice to see the things start to come together a little bit. It's like not lost, you know, other people out there enjoying it. As always, be good to each other. Model on.